beautiful sunrise is a huge tradition here at Bells. We get here in the dark and wait for the official call. Our commissioner, Kieran Perro, was quick to call this opening round on today, just on the second day of the waiting period here on Good Friday. Thanks for being with us. Julian Wilson in the lineup now with Stu Kennedy and Adam Melling in all Australian matchup. Julian from the Sunshine Coast, a place called Coolum Beach. Stu and Adam groomed on the beautiful right-hander of Lennox Head. They've seen each other through their board riders' careers, seen each other on the qualifying series, and we still are remembering the heat that Stu brought to the tour at Snapper Rocks out of the gates. Getting into this one quickly, Kennedy trying to control the start. Blows the fins off the top. Fellow surfer from Lennox on the next one is Adam Melling. Melling with a good connection off the lip. Hard off the bottom, jamming one off the roof. Melling with a slow motion reverse will end up losing it. All about Stu's finishing move now. And he'll tap it shut right over the rocks and have to get out of there.
Yeah, total commitment right there from Stu Kennedy. And Joe, it's the same little board he was riding on the Goldie, right? So, you know, you talk about changing up equipment. We spoke about that yesterday. You know, there are guys that'll probably ride, you know, if they feel comfortable with the board. That's kind of how I used to roll. You know, I'd have that board that would go good in all kinds of conditions. Adam Melling, though, he's got a little bit of a shot here to get himself back on tour. It's great surfing there. As you said, that slow motion reverse right there. Obviously not enough on offer, deciding to blow the tail out. Didn't quite finish that one off. So advantage Stu Kennedy. Julian Wilson sitting out the back.
What a year it was for Julian Wilson last season. Meanwhile, Melling wants to keep swinging. Right into a top turn cutback. Always looking strong off the bottom. Goes straight up, blows the tail. Will he recover? Melling goes down again. Went for a reverse on his finish on his last. The whitewater took him down. Trying to explode on that second maneuver, and he went down again. We're kind of touching on Flores with a couple of slow years for him on his road to come back to the top 10. Wilson experiencing the same thing before that world title run last season. Now we're watching Stu Kennedy getting hung up on the first turn, so he's out. Kennedy's opener a 5-5, and now here comes Wilson. Quick rip off the top of that whitewater section. Clean top turn wrap right over Stu. Nice little easy cutback for Julian. And he'll keep swinging on this one all the way to the inside section. Clean rail work, nice and easy tempo. There's the clean finish off the top for Julian, and he's out.
Knows he needs to get a win here in round one just to get that confidence up. Nice opening maneuver right there. Watch this, right over Stu Kennedy. And that's what MR did to me, but kind of put the fear in your opponent's eyes. Julian just standing on the tail, waiting for this wave to build up. I like the way he just cruises through this first wave, Joe. Nothing too radical, just making sure he puts a good score on the board. Been listening to the beach commentary. Nothing really serious being locked in yet. A 5-5 for Stu Kennedy, a 4-1 for Adam Melling, so that's going to put him right back in the ball game.
He was pretty fired up when he went down in the semifinals. As we get back to that story in a moment. Looking at this last replay, Potts, he's looking really solid.
He is, you know, and it's all that bottom turn as well. You see how he gives it a couple of pumps and then sets that rail. I like the way he gets nice and low. He's got that low center of gravity off the bottom, which really gives him that springboard effect that come off the bottom at that low center of gravity, and then it drives you up into the mid face of the wave. You know, with Bells Beach, you kind of want to start your turn 3/4 up the face of the wave. You go too far up and out of the lip, that's kind of where things can go wrong.
So Wilson turns in a 6.67 as he's been waiting with priority for a long time. We talked about the whole priority rule in the first heat. Davey Cathles took the win, and Wilson, though, effective with getting a solid start, being patient out in this lineup. This is Melling now. Set up wrap to get down the line. Floats that mushy section, now coming around the corner and jams it off the top, finding the flow in an interesting wave. Quick rebound section. Now Melling has a little lip to work with. Quick tail slide jam. With Wilson getting started out the back as well. Now Wilson falling. Kennedy holding first priority, and we'll wait for his scores to build at 21 on the clock.
Yeah, Adam Melling using priority there. It's kind of felt to me like he was fighting that wave all the way through. He didn't have that flow that you look for here at Bells. You know, sometimes you get those smaller ones and it sort of doesn't really wall up. It sort of throws the odd section at you and you kind of got to chase it and then react. It's all about tapping on, tapping off, right speed at the right time.
Because we knew how much trouble he had at Bells in the past. He has this new school approach, but he reminds us that his power game is so solid. This is Stu Kennedy. Rips it under the lip, a little float to get down the line. Needs a 4.11 to take the lead here. Wrapping cutback. Stu lays into a roundhouse cutback one more time. Nice lip section to snap off the top. And now Stu fades out. Kennedy realized his position on tour this year. Almost qualifying from the QS, being a spot out. Now in to replace B. Durbridge, who had that terrible injury at Pipeline. And he's proud that he's an Australian taking that role. Stu's already preparing his mind to show up at a lot of events this season as we take a look back here.
Yeah, you know, just double pump off the bottom there, trying to get that rail set. Obviously a little bit of a different face on the wave, you know, bigger transition as far as that surfboard goes at Snapper Rocks. Got to hold the rail a little bit longer. It looks like it's working well. He knows he only needs a mid-range score of a 4.11, so just trying to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes. You've got to finish right, show control. The judges want to see that. You know, we've always heard Richie Porter say, these guys are the best in the world. They've got to act that way. You know, if we see any kind of mistake, we're going to be really critical on them. You know, we want them to produce their best surfing. That's what we're here for. Stu Kennedy showing some poise there, showing that he's got the headspace just to put on a good score and try and get himself back into that first place. So score's dropping in, Joe.
Scores now drifting in. Stu Kennedy takes the lead off Wilson with a 5.5 on his last. Started with a 5.5. Wilson now needs a 4.33. Melling needs a 6.83 as Adam turned in the 3.77. Sitting at a really good part of this heat.
And we're seeing the young breed just really with no respect for the old guys.
As we now get caught up with Wilson here, who just got a wave during the break.
Yeah, Julian looking for a 4.33 to get himself back into the lead. Nice foam climb right there, but kind of that got him stuck behind the section. Now he's fighting, wasting a little bit of that open face. Kind of maybe chose the wrong turn right there, Joe, but is he going to finish nicely? Needs to. That was better right there from Julian, just that nice finishing turn. He needed something special there just to get that lead back.
So now Wilson trying to protect that lead, has a 5.57, now a 6.67. Kennedy now drops back to second, needs a 6.74, and Melling needs an excellent range score to take the lead, an 8.07 with 11.40 to go. But Wilson or Stu could take a roll of the dice if Melling doesn't want it here. Checking it out, Julian steps off because Kennedy has priority over Julian here. Wrap to start. He's got a lot of foam on the face, and he'll slide out as he goes for one major maneuver on the inside corner.
It's all about finding that rhythm really quick.
Now having a look, setting up this first turn is Stu Kennedy. Front side carved to tail release. Big vertical whip blowing the tail out. And now wrapping away on this inside flat section. He's trying to get a 6.74 out of this wave. He'll continue to fade. He wants to lead off Julian, but Julian just laid down a big carve on the very next section. Stu's just committing all the way to the inside corner. He's got one last section to work with. Big tail blow, finishing on his feet. Now Wilson heading into this same section. Not as much to work with, but he does jam it shut. Two great waves, Stu to Julian. Now with 2:20 to go.
Right, Julian needing to improve on a 5.57. Stu Kennedy needing a 6.74, so got a funny feeling Julian's going to improve on that 5.57 and Stu's going to need something up in that 7+ range. So it's in the judges' hands, 2 minutes to go. Let's have a look at Julian's wave. Nice, clean opening sort of maneuver right there. Connecting, that smooth bottom turn we talk about that unloads that big turn. Mid-face sort of carving maneuver, just setting his rail, keeping that board moving, keeping those fins engaged. And that's what you got to do here at Bells. Nice smooth surfing from Julian Wilson, just taking his time, which you really got to do out here. Make sure you don't make any mistakes there. So nice clean surfing from Julian. I think he's going to better his situation. Stu Kennedy, maybe a little bit more radical, a little bit more innovation right there, just throws the tail out the back of the wave. So showing some variety, keeping that board moving. Looking better on this wave, that's for sure. He's got to finish nicely, which he does. So Stu Kennedy joining the dots, getting that board moving again. Now the legs start to burn. What's he got for us? Here it comes right now in the sunlight. Throws the tail out, gets that board sliding sideways. Stu Kennedy showing some innovation on that occasion.
But no one's really running away from this matchup. Scores now in for Stu of 5.9. That'll keep him in second.
Yeah, and we're just still waiting for that last one from Julian. So, you know, I love these kind of heats, Joe, because the door's open for every competitor. Adam Melling, here he goes. He needs an 8.07.
20 seconds on the clock for Melling. Gets that big wrap off the top, blow tail, and he controls the slide right into a third maneuver. There's the front side hook. Melling here needs an 8.07. Solid start out the back. It's going a little bit gutless. Dealing with a little bit of downtime, and we'll hear the horn sound. Melling will just rebound, and he'll put this thing to bed on the inside corner. One more wind up, throw tail, and he remains on his feet. A challenging wave to surf for Adam Melling, but he needed an 8.07. He couldn't afford to kick out. And we'll see what those last couple of numbers are looking like. How do you think he performed, and will it even come close to the score pots?
Well, I think he did it probably as good as he could have on that. But it's going to blow out. Look at that score from Julian Wilson, a 7.17. So Adam Melling needing a 9.67 on that last exchange. Surfed it well, showed some innovation, but just a little bit of downtime through the mid part of that wave. Didn't quite stand up for him, so I think Julian's going to walk away with the win.
As we'll take another look at Melling's wave to see if it's going to come close here.
Yeah, a couple of nice opening maneuvers right there. This next turn, I think, was the money shot. Right there, throws the tail out, but then the wave kind of went fat, so it's a lot of just milking it through, waiting for it to stand up. Had that thing stood up all the way through, I think we'd have had a shot at dropping a wave up into a score up into the excellent range, but you can see just waiting for it. A lot of downtime. The judges aren't going to enjoy that. And as I said before, surfed the wave probably as good as you could have, but I don't think it was a 9-point ride.
So we see the finish from Melling. Now the scores are coming in. A 6.40 from the panel, and Adam ends up short. The two boys from Lennox will be reseeded in round 2, and the man from Coolum Beach on the Sunshine Coast, Julian Wilson, will skip straight to round 3. It seems like just an early morning round heat for Julian, but it's kind of a crucial win for him when you look at his Bell's track record. Not the best. Happy to skip right into the third round of competition.